Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Let's Play Path of Exile, Part 2. Now, unfortunately, as you can see, we are in the Create Character screen. This is because somehow we managed to lose our character. Quite possibly a government official who is still holding a grudge for Parliament. However, we were not actually that far, so we will just create a new character and just give a name here. There we go. And what we're going to do this time is that I have actually been playing the hardcore character league for quite a little bit, and what we're actually going to do is we're going to play the default league, but we're going to design a character that would be similar to the one that I use in the hardcore league. Because people are asking, what to build, what items or what gems to use and such. So we'll use this default league character to basically show people what build you need to use, what gems. Now for this, I will use the same that I'm using in hardcore, which is the ranger.
You can't own a life.
So we'll go ahead.
Not a deer's,
okay.
not a rabbit's, and not mine. Every soul has a birth-given right to live however they will.
Even though this is technically a new character, if you want to hear all the boring blah 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 blah, you can go to the previous part that we did do, which should be on screen right now. But for this one, we'll just basically zoom through this first part so that we don't bore you guys too much. However, you will notice that there are some things that are a little different this time around. We do actually have a mini-map. Hooray for mini-maps. Now the map itself is still as it was, but we're not going to complain about that. The mini-map is quite useful. It is a little bit more clear than the main map itself. Of course, you can turn that on by going to, I think, the settings and then UI tab, and you have the option there. Now, and the big change that you will see here is that I am not actually holding Alt, and the items are appearing on the ground. This has been the best find that I've actually found, and if I had have read through the hints and tips, I probably would have known a little earlier. But if you press Z, it will turn basically the loot on permanently. So as you see, if I press Z, it goes away and I have to hold Alt. But so if you press Z, it will stay on permanently, and that is one of the nicer things that I've actually discovered playing the game. Probably most of you have actually already discovered that. Pew, zoom through all this area. Now, although this is the default league, like I said, we will build this as if it was a hardcore character, which means that we will tend to lean a little closer towards the tankier side of the skill tree. Now, the beauty of this game is that even if you are playing hardcore and you want to go
I'm still
heavier
breathing.
towards the damage,
That's a good
you
sign.
can do so. It just means that you are running a bigger risk of dying when it comes to the fights. But most people will take the safer route, build a little bit more towards the tanky, with a little bit of damage, which is what we will actually do. But we'll start off with this. We're going to basically go around this way through the evasion and some dexterity, mostly life along the way. But we'll talk about that as we go along. We're going to start off anyway. As you see, we can go to attack speed or evasion. We're going to take this little evasion route around. So now eventually, when you get into the higher difficulties, the bosses will essentially hit like a truck. So the evasion is almost useless. But further on, there is actually an ability that will convert all that evasion into armor. So if you're wondering why I'm taking the evasion, and you know that the bosses do hit very hard later on, that is the reason why. So let's zoom. Try to get through this as quick as I can so I don't bore you guys. And there we go, we're at the first mini boss guy. I probably can't actually tank him, he's probably not going to hit that hard. Of course we are in the normal difficulty of default league, so they're not going to hit him that hard just yet. And there we go. Oh, a nice yellow. Give me yellow. So let's just pick up everything, because we probably do need some of that. Gloves we've already got. Yeah, very nice. So let's move that into here, and we're off. Once again, I'm going to skip all the quest chat. If you play the game yourself, you'll read through that anyway, so
Welcome
it is
to our home.
irrelevant whether you actually see it here or not. Yeah, it's just vendor. God damn it, come on. And we're good to go.
Oh, raven! There's an island. I
Yep,
hope
yep,
skipping
there's
away.
an island, that's nice.
Fine work with Hillich.
God damn it. Okay, so in the when you are leveling a ranger, when you get to this first part, these gems technically will not get used in the end game build that you're sort of going for. But I find that for, you know, these are sort of melee dependent, so the only choice you have is the split arrow. However, that is actually quite useful. We don't actually have a slot for it yet, but it is quite useful for farming until you get the likes of poison arrow, lightning arrow. But as I said, we do not have a slot,
seen a
so
wilderness like this before.
we will need to
There'll be
get
some dark days ahead.
an item for that. Okay, so basically we are on the first quest again, which we were on before we unfortunately lost our character. Now, since we won't be talking about all the boring mechanics of the game, we will be able to hopefully get there relatively fast. I'm actually going to switch this out for that right now because it'll help farm a little quicker. There we go. Since we're just farming away, we'll talk a little bit about the build then that we are going to create on the Ranger. A lot of the builds for different champions will be the same. You'll tend to lean towards the
My mana is
tank
gone.
aspect. For the Ranger itself, we will be building mostly health percentages. We'll build a little evasion along the way, and as we said, we will eventually get an ability skill, which I cannot remember the name of, which will convert all the evasion into armor. We will also build some intelligence, not too much, basically so that when we get the gems that we need and level them up, we have the right amount of intelligence to do so. And what else will we build? We'll build mostly, we will obviously pick up some armor as well along the way, even though we're converting the evasion into armor. Some dexterity as well, of course.
The worms will have to wait a bit longer for
So we
this
can't
meal.
really depend too much on complete tankiness, although we will be able to hit it. Take the hits from the mobs if we can't kill them is sort of pointless. The Ranger class, we will be designing to work around a sort of kite and do a damage over time effect sort of build. Because although we will be building that tanky, it's still sort of risky to try and take the hits. You don't want to try and risk that, not in hardcore mode anyway. In this default league it'll be fine, but we will not risk it. Let's spend our skill point. So we are, as I said, we're not going to use dexterity, or we're going to continue around the evasion route over to this finesse ability, which will be our first one. So we'll just go ahead and take that evasion. This is another great thing about the Z button, turning it on. You'll always see the chest too, so you'll never miss any of those, which is quite important because quite a few gems or orbs that we actually will need later on will drop from that, so we really don't want to miss chests. I probably should be actually picking up items since I don't have any. We're just going to quickly farm around. If you are doing the hardcore league, you may want to just farm around most of the map. We're just going to quickly run around and pick up as many of the mobs as we can in a short period, because we do want to have the if you do it right, you should always be a level ahead of the zone that you're in. The way to tell the level
My
of the
mana
zone...
is gone.
Okay, mana you shall have. The way to tell about the zone is if you hold tab to bring up the main map, you'll see at the top right here, it'll say monster level 2. And of course, if you open your character window with the C button, you'll see that we are actually level 3. So it's a good... it's a good thing to keep practicing. Make sure you always stay that level ahead. You know, obviously, if you're doing the hour race events or the 3-hour race events, you know, you're not that worried about farming everything. But if this is a character that you're building just to play through for the story and the farm and for heroic and etc., farming all the map is usually not the worst idea in the world. So. That up. What am I shooting at? One of the beautiful things about the Ranger is that if you get to a place like this, just kill these guys first. You can actually kill them from safety from here. Now, at this point, it's not exactly the riskiest thing because they don't move that quick and they don't particularly hit that hard. But in the later difficulty settings, that actually can be quite useful. Now, oh shit. That is not good. That is not good at all. Stop raining your fireballs on me. I may actually want to be a little more careful. There we go. So, swords, you have no use to me. Medium life flask, you do, however. Why will you not go in the slot? Oh, because I need level 4. That would make sense. Another bow, which we probably don't need. I need things other than bows, god damn it. Okay, so we should be closing into the area that we left before we lost our character. We will continue on from there. There's some greaves. They are actually useful, yep. Very nice. So there we go. Now, I had the very loud level up noise. Now there on the map there are different coloured sort of markers, I guess. As you can see at the bottom of the mini map, there's an orange one. Now there's 2 actual ways out of this particular map. We'll just go ahead and take another evasion. This is the one that you're actually looking for. though. There is an entrance that takes you to further on into the level, but we're looking for this tidal island area, as it is where we need to go for the quest.
My mana is gone.
Apologies, mana. So in this is just a small island. You can basically just run around. You can go the south direction or the north direction. It doesn't particularly matter, because it will take you to where you need to go. We actually are level 4 now, so let's put that in here. 1, 2, 3, and good. Complete vest. Yep, here we go. Getting everything that we need now. Good times. As you can see, these guys really don't hit that hard at all, so it's it's really not much of a problem to tank them. Especially considering, as you can see there, you can almost one-shot most of them. Okay. And pew pew pew. God damn it, die. The one thing about the Z button, although it will show all the loot and the chests, it will not show barrels, however, so you still need to keep an eye out for those, because they can drop gems, scrolls, orbs, etc, etc. Oh man, our mana's disappearing fast. Any day now, come on. Die, die, die. And we're off. Oh, don't do that to me. As you can see, even though it's normal mode, getting frozen like that's still annoying as hell. That is not the right thing. Let's just try and finish these guys off first. Probably actually should have switched to the burning arrow for this one, but it doesn't particularly matter. There we go. And this little green item, as you can see here now, that has dropped, is basically it's a quest item. It doesn't do anything. You just got to pick it up and deliver it to someone, or take the item somewhere, etc, etc. What am I doing? It's not the right item. We did, however, pick up. There we go, a medium mana flask. Now, one of the things that we should talk about with the mana flasks is that when you start off, they're grey items. All they do is restore mana. They don't do anything extra. However, when you get blue items, of course they all vary in colours. Once you get a blue one, it has random properties. So as you can see here, once we identify that, there's a 50% increased recovery speed. So you know, eventually there will be ones for basically increased attack speed when the potion is in use, or increased movement speed. But we will actually talk about more of what we're going to use later on. But for now, any one that we get is going to be somewhat useful. Actually, what we'll do is we're just going to make our way back around this side of the island to clear out the mobs. Now we could teleport back to the base and turn in the quest, but unfortunately, do I even have any? Yes, I have one. No. Yes, one. We'll actually use that when we get back to the entrance. You could run back if you wanted to, but I mean, it saves time to just portal back. Plus, you
My
will
mana
pick
is
up
gone.
plenty of portal scrolls eventually, so not a problem. But like I said, it's always good to clear out as much of the map as you possibly can for the extra experience. It won't hold you back if you don't, but it will make it that little bit easier if you do. Plus you can pick up crates, barrels along the way. Oh, don't forget to level up your gems, like I almost did. And there we go, back to start. So what we'll do is we'll actually just leave this area and then use the portal scroll because we do actually have to head this way, up this way on the map anyway, so there's no point in running all the way back. There we go. And did not mean to tab.
A medicine chest.
Medicine chest indeed. So basically, as you can see here, we actually get different flasks as a quest reward instead of gems. As I said, 2 of them are identifiable and could give us pretty useful abilities, or random properties I should say. We do actually have this Quicksilver flask. Now we already have 3 potions and 2 mana, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take the Quicksilver flask because for a what am I doing for the ranger that actually is quite useful.
So,
It helps us not get caught in bad situations. Now we also get the gems for that quest. As you can see here, there's a lot of green. Some are melee, some are spell. The 2 that we can technically use are Fire Trap and Poison Arrow. Now, we're going to take Poison Arrow because it is actually part of our final build. It helps clear out rooms very easily. It's also great for kiting around. Let's just sell some items. Small mana flask. So let's identify you first. Yeah, there we go. We have 3 random properties on that one. So we can't actually do that, Andrew. Click, 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 and there we go. So let's move. So we're going to keep 2 health potions, 2 mana potions, and a Quicksilver flask. And now when we do start later in the game, we will actually get mana and health potions that give us increased movement speed, and which will almost make this pointless. But for now, we will use that anyway. We don't. Yes, we do have a green slot. Wonderful. So let's put Poison Arrow in there. Now we don't want it to be on our scroll button because it's kind of annoying to have it there. So we're actually just going to trade that into there. If you click on, I don't know if I talked about this in the last video, but if you click on the spell window, it opens up this little. Let's close this so you can see. Opens up this little window that lets you basically quick change your abilities as long as you have the gem equipped. If you have the gem in your bag, it doesn't count. So let's just put Poison Arrow. I like to actually have it on W, so let's keep that there. Split Arrow can stay there and close. Do we have room for Burning Arrow? Yes, there we go. Might as well put Burning Arrow in there and put that to E. Take that off there. Okay, so we're good. Let's identify some of this. Why am I not learning that you cannot do that? There we go. Skill, Vest, that one is a gray, so we might as well take that. Strength, not particularly what we need. If we open that up, you can see here. Intelligence gives you +1 to mana, +1 to energy shield, which, if you remember, is the little blue bar at the side. Green is dexterity, which gives us 2 accuracy, +1 evasion, which is our main sort of one that we're going to go for. And strength gives +1 life, plus melee physical damage. Now the life is actually quite useful for us, so it's not that big of a problem. So we'll go ahead and equip that. The bow is not as good. We're not going to bother identifying that. At this point, I'm just going to vendor all this, and I don't use a sword, so no point in keeping it. So vendor, vendor, vendor. Give me all your scrolly pieces. No, I do not want to do that. Why am I doing that? I do not know why I am doing this. There we go. Move that into there. Wasting so much time. And now you can keep these in your bank if you want. I'm not going to, because we will get better quality ones eventually. And woo! take a look at that. Now, one thing about the bank I don't know I talked about, if you have multiple characters, you all share the same bank. So as you can see, I've collected some stuff already on other... Oh man, I actually already had poison arrow as well. So you can basically share between characters, and the thing is, but it's for default league only. If you start in hardcore league, you cannot use this same bank account. You will start with a fresh one, so anything you collect there is essentially useless, except for whatever character you're using it in hardcore. I just store all these in the bank. The only thing that I like to carry with me are teleport scrolls, portal scrolls, wisdom scrolls, and the armor things I will use basically. That is not armor. I will use right away in most cases, but things like this, reforging colors of sockets and changing number of sockets, they have no use at this sort of point. So put them in your stash, keep them till later. We'll come back to them and talk to them in a later episode. Obviously the fragments I carry around until they're actually completed. Once they get completed, move them into the stash. But let us move on. Is there anything there I can use? No, have all those. So onward we go. If we press, we do not actually have the next quest yet because I did not turn it in. So there we go. We got the next quest, which is the fetid pool. As you can see, it's further on up here. So damn, I think my portal might be gone. No. It's still there. How wonderful. Like I said earlier, if you stay too long in the town, that will disappear. But, hooray! Ours is still there. So, let's just continue on. Okay, just to give you guys... I'll actually wait until a bigger pack shows up and we'll actually show you what the poison arrow does, since it is going to be a very important part. Actually, let's just do it here. So when we fire off poison arrow, as you can see, it hits a target and then spreads a sort of poison in a certain radius. So as you can see, that is why it is very, very useful for clearing out rooms. You just fire one in. You know, when we get support gems, which we'll talk about later, that becomes very, very useful. Am I going the right way? Let's just pop that open. Yes, so we gotta move into the mud flats. Oh, did we actually get to this point in the last episode? I do not remember. Anyway, we're here, so let's move along. So we basically need to find the entrance to the fetid pools. There we go, just pick that up. Do we need a medium one? Yes, we do. Yep, so switch that out. There we go. You'll notice that when you do get new flasks, they basically start off empty. So you want to make sure that you don't change all of them at once, if you can. Change one or two at a time to ensure that you actually have one to fall back on if you get stuck in combat. This is where the poison arrow becomes very useful. As you can see, it basically takes all these guys to sort of half health already, and then we can just one-shot them to finish them. Now the entrance to where we need to go is probably more in the north, but as we said earlier, might as well clear out all the map, get the extra experience, so that makes it a little bit easier. And
strife
there we
brings
go.
strength. That's nature for you.
That is nature for you. Okay, so while we farm this little area, let's talk a little bit about the developers behind the game. Another evasion node. The game is designed by Grinding Gear Games, which is based in New Zealand. Now, I don't know whether it's true. I can actually believe it, but apparently the game was made because they were very upset at the quality of Diablo and decided, hey, what the hell, let's make our own game. And in a sense, I don't blame them. I mean, Diablo had, you know, it had nice features, but it had many flaws as well. Level up your gem. And, you know, so these guys, they just decided that they were disappointed and that they were going to, oh shit, rare mob. And they were just going to create their own game and do it right, how they would want it, so that other gamers like ourselves, we would want something a little bit more challenging and a little bit more, I don't know if saying challenging is the right thing. The later difficulties probably are a little bit more taxing compared to that of Diablo. But you know, it's something that was a little bit more similar to Diablo 2, I guess. You know, and for a game that is still in open beta, they have done a fantastic job. Now, you know, it has its flaws as well. Not as much as you would think, but it has a few. Like I said, I'm not overly fussed on the map. I wish there was something a little bit more, not as transparent. But it's not something that's going to ruin the game for me. Some people have a problem with the graphics, but they forget that this is made by a team of guys, no more than, I think it's 18 of them created this game. So for 18 guys and females, if there are any, yeah, they've done a great job so far. You know, maybe 6 months down the line or a year down the line of its official release, we will see maybe a graphical update. As it is still only in open beta. Personally, hello Ring. Personally, I like the way it looks. You know, so if they did bring out a graphical update, you know, that would be, it'd be freaking awesome. As you see here, we have a little green item as part of, there we go, once we pick it up, we get another quest to find a use for the strange glyph in the mudflats. Now, that will not be our priority. The fetid pull quest will still be our priority. We will do that one after. People are probably wondering why I don't actually pick up some of the items along the way. The reason for that is, okay, before we get into that, this is where you need to take the glyphs. As you see here, find the glyphs in the rose nests. We've already found one. I think we need 3, maybe 4 eventually, but we'll find them as we fight our way through. And what was I saying? Oh yes, why I don't pick up items. The reason I don't pick up the items is that I usually only pick up the blue items along the way. Obviously they have a higher worth when selling them to the vendor. Plus I I like to sort of stay out of the town as long as I can without having to go back. So I'll only go back when I have a inventory or bag full of blue items which are worth selling to the vendor. So that is why I leave a lot of items lying around. So here's another rose nest. Kill all these guys off. And another green item. As you can see, what am I doing? If you fire off your poison arrow and then fire off 2 split arrows, you can see how quickly they actually die. So, you know, if you get those 2 together in a combo, it's going to be so easy to clear out mobs. Another rose nest. There we go, 3. That's how many we needed. So now we need to take them back to that little wall by the cave. And now, as I said, we're going to do that later because we have no interest in doing that quest first. I do believe that I saw it in the top right of the minimap there. but we will clear this way first, because if I am right, there should be a yellow mob hiding around here somewhere. At least there usually is when I play this. Ooh, a Chaos Orb. Chaos Orb is, as you can see here, it reforges a rare item with random properties. These, as far as I'm aware, can sell for quite a bit, so you want to, you know, keep them. If you got to use them, you can use them. If you want to get yourself a lot of scrolls, they're a good item to sell. And ooh, we had a little lag moment there. So that's unfortunately no yellow. As you can see here, this is where we need to go, the fetid pool, but we haven't done this little corner, so we'll run and do that real quick. Pew pew! Really? That's all you're giving me? Ah, disappointed. I really thought I was gonna get more than that. Okay, so welcome to the stinky fetid pool. Basically, our quest here is to, just gotta remind myself. Yes, it says to clear the fetid pool of all mobs, but the thing is, we do actually have to kill a necromancer, I believe, as well. So what I'm actually going to do is, if I'm right, there's always a lake in the middle of the cave. Oh, and a shiny yellow. Come here. Time to die. Seriously, dude, come on, die. Come on. You can do it. Die.
Back into the ground with you.
And nothing useful. Thank you very much, yellow mob, for nothing. Slowly but surely, we will clear our way through. But as I was saying, you can see, usually there is a lake in the middle, so you just fight your way around the edges of it, and you will find all the mobs that you actually need. Because sometimes it can be so fucking annoying if you like need to clear one more mob and you cannot find anything. So just skirt around the edges of the lake as well to make sure that you actually get them all. It will tell you in the chat how many mobs you actually have remaining when you get, I think, below 10 or so. Ooh, this isn't good. This isn't good. Easy. Never worried. Never worried. And there we are, the necromancer. Okay, one thing about necromancers, ignore the mobs. He's just going to raise more, so it is utterly pointless to even bother trying to kill them. Just focus on him first. Spit out your poison arrow. That'll help take the mobs down anyway. Fire off your burning arrow or whatever you have. Try not to die. And dead. There we go. So now we need to wipe out the remaining.
My mana is gone.
Yes. Mana is gone indeed. So all these nice shinies.
That would only slow me down.
Okay, so there we go. That is actually our thing full. Let's kill this off. Okay, so what I'll usually do now is I'll just teleport back to base, sell all the items I need to do, and then just teleport right back where I left off. So, oh, I actually could have jumped that. What is that? Let's just actually check, see if that's... it's not really worth it. It is usually useful to... We should actually change that one out, but... it's usually useful to, if you think that an item will actually be useful, make sure you identify it. There will be no shortage of scroll of wisdom in the game, unless you go crazy identifying everything you come across. So, you know, you can identify whatever you think might actually be useful, so that you don't actually lose some stuff. And there we go. Let's just move some stuff around. You to there. You need to go to there. Through all the quest items over here. As you can see, I have a very bad habit of trying to organize everything out. Yeah, I guess that one will do. So, we sell everything. Okay, so we got to this point. We want to continue our way around this way, sort of. So we're going to take this finesse, which gives us 4% increased attack speed and plus 32 dexterity. As you can see here, we'll move on to the life nodes, which gives 8% increased maximum life, which is very useful for a hardcore mode. Quiver, I do believe, will be an upgrade. Yes, it will. Level up the gem and continue with the worm farming. Mobs, I know you're here somewhere. Oh, really? Come on, stop hiding, guys. Okay, ooh, there wasn't a big little lake as I thought there would be. Yeah, there's one. And two. Nothing useful. Still quite a bit to go, it seems. Still nothing useful. This is the worst thing about this quest. You gotta find every single mob. So like I said, make sure you skirt the edges and the leg in the middle, because there's nothing more annoying than trying to find one single mob. I can hear you, but there you are. Really? Still that many to go? Jeez. Okay, so we're coming back around the other side of the lake now. Shouldn't be too many more mobs to go. So there, yeah, 5. Whenever you hit 5 remaining, it will pop up in the chat down here telling you. So we got 4 more to go. Hopefully, they should be in here. 2 to go. Yeah, there's one. And please, for the love of God, let the final one be here. But there you are. So, here we go. Talk to Tarkley. Once again, we will just leave this and we will teleport back to... Oh, we only have one. Is there... Ah, we might as well keep it. The waypoint's actually pretty close. And back to base we go. And we will turn in the quest real quick. No. No, what are you doing? Go this way.
A necromancer.
Yes.
I've travelled inland on the Emperor's Road via the Prisoner's Gate.
Good for you. Strange glyphs.
Interesting glyph you got there.
Yeah, so that doesn't particularly matter. You already have the glyphs for the quest. He just sort of officially gives it to you, I guess. So as you can see, we have left to continue our way forward through the area, I suppose, and of course we got to get the glyphs, but that will be, we'll just sell this stuff. Useless, maybe not useless. Not particularly that worth it, so accept. Anything we need to dump. Yeah, there we go, we got one complete, throw it in, and that's it. So that will be it for the part 2 of the Let's Play Path of Exile. Part 3 should be coming very soon. Of course, you can subscribe to the channel, which, if I find it, we have our YouTube page, or our Facebook page, if I can get it right, which you can obviously like, and every time a new video is released, we will post about it here. We also have the YouTube page, which is YouTube Guy Fox Gaming, and of course, if you subscribe to that as well, we will be releasing hopefully the videos more regularly, hopefully every few days rather than every week. And you should, as I said, you'll be able to find it there. We will be having contests as well. Currently we're giving away Dota 2 keys. I think we have about maybe 15 left of the original 18. We will actually be holding that mostly on our Facebook page, maybe on Twitter and such as well, but you can subscribe to the YouTube page and the Facebook page for all the updates on the latest video, as well as the contest. Thank you very much for watching, and make sure you tune in for part 3, which should come very soon.